actually, I'm not even sure I have any more questions for you. As we recover from the effects of the pandemic, I think we need to really focus on how we can take our city and our people to the next level. The pandemic showed us where our city's gaps and needs are in infrastructure, health and safety, and of course in mental health. I think this a big opportunity to take Metro Health to the next level, and I'm excited about you being at the head of that, Claude. I'm excited about the partnership, and I think the human services component of public health, of getting back on your feet, is a component we really need to focus on. I do think it's a really big deal that we have a chief mental health officer. According to the Bexar County Mental Health Systems Assessment, Bexar County had the 4th highest prevalence of both adults with serious mental illness and children with serious emotional conditions among all Texas counties. So I just think it's a really incredible opportunity for us, and I appreciate you being here for it. I'm going to move over to Renee, and this is the part I may need to speak through. Renee. I just want to make the point, I support our city workforce at every level, and the compensation increase is a strong affirmation of that. I also strongly support and appreciate our labor unions because of the value that they bring to our city's well-being. So I want to thank AFSCME Local 2021 for their voice and advocacy of our civilian workforce. Can you tell me, there's an 8.1% wage growth, if I saw that correctly, and is it 2/3 of city employees are receiving a raise between 2 and 7%? Is that correct?
Yeah. So 2/3 of our employees are receiving the 5% market, and the 5% across the board and the 2% market.
Okay, I see. Mm-hmm. So how are we going to work towards filling the rest of that gap, between the 8%?
So the 8.1% wage rate growth is over the past 12 months. And so if you're taking into consideration both the 4% market that we gave in October of last year, plus these additional markets, we're keeping pace with that.
Okay. And do you think we'll be able to continue to keep pace with that?
I do, and as part of our budget proposal for HR, we've added some positions and compensation to do ongoing market analysis. So I think we're catching up with market, and we're putting the things in play to make sure we're maintaining our position.
And we added the market adjustments for a little over 2,300 employees, civilian employees, in the beginning of April. But if things continue, then this will be something that we'll need to continue to address into next fiscal year for sure.
Councilwoman, I will tell you that the average increase for employees, if you consider the across the board and the market, the average increase is around 8%.
Okay.
So matching up to that 8.1%.
So real quickly, I know we're going to talk about some of this at the LGC, but I want to just say for the record, I support the request for increasing the council staff. I know that there's been a request in the past by 1 FTE to make a total of 9, and of course along with the salary that goes along with that. And can you tell me how many employees are losing the cell phone allowance? What level of management typically has a cell phone allowance? And
I'll answer that.
Okay.
All executives lost the cell phone allowance during the pandemic, and it was not restored.
Okay.
So we have a loose collection of employees that are receiving some data only, some cell and data, and some just cell. It's an old allowance that has been around for a long time and has never been adjusted. And we thought that, I proposed that in the proposed budget that we, in light of the market adjustments and the across the board and the premium decrease, that we eliminate that. Renee, do you know how many employees that was that had the cell phone allowance?
591 city employees.
But none of those were executives because they lost those 2 years ago.
Okay, so that does include the council aides. I know I'm over time.
There's
Mayor,
591 city employees and 73 LGC employees who currently receive the cell phone.
So as proposed, Andy's looking at me sternly. I'll just say it real quick, Andy, before he breaks. But the LGC, the local government corporation agreement with the city of San Antonio is that we will have consistency in how we deal with personnel. I'm making that recommendation for the city of San Antonio. We built that into the mayor and council budgets.
Okay, I'll just real quickly ask
that.
that.
A conversation for LGC if you want to have that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to see. We can talk about that at the LGC. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember